of value to us. So we're going to read this and then we will discuss it. Because the materialist is in gross ignorance of how the laws of material nature act upon him as a result of his fruitive activity, he mistakenly plans to enjoy bodily comfort in the human form of life through so-called economic development, through pious activities for elevation to the higher planetary systems, and in many other ways, but factually he becomes a victim of the reactions of his fruitive activities. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is situated as the Supersoul within the cores of the stated in Bhagavad Gita 1861, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam And it was pretty amazing. They have this huge pond staying way up over there, and there are two of them. One is actually pouring milk, the other one is pouring liquid on that. Cocoa? Cocoa. Right. Right here it's doing that. And it goes going into another machine, and there it's mixing it, and then it's passing it on. Then it goes to another machine, it should manipulate, and it passes out. And it's so perfect that the mix is always the same. So the rate at which the milk and the cocoa is coming in is the rate at which the bars are going, right? And not only that, after it mixes all this, it goes into another machine that shakes it. It's coolant or something, it solidifies it and it shakes it into a bar. Nice looking bar. And then that comes up from that machine, it goes into another machine which packages it. There are these small packages in which this bar just comes and sits on it, and it wraps itself, then it passes on, then it goes to a third machine. The third machine has a box which has 12 bars. 12 bars will come in, hit it, and drop the floor. And then it will go straight into for distribution. Isn't that amazing? Not a single person touches it. Not a single person touches it. The only person who touches it is at the source who are feeding the. But there too, they are not touching it. All those things are available in France and they put it into another big prawn or whatever they call it, and that's feeding into these two tanks which are feeding it. It's really amazing, isn't it? So when you eat a milk chocolate, right? Very comfortable water. This one is very good shape. So it's a complex operation. And the reason I brought this up is because when I actually saw this, I was for a minute I was really admiring how they put this whole thing together. And then now being a devotee, I was thinking that Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita that anything splendid you see is just a spark of His splendor. Right? It's just a spark. Then I was thinking, what a wonderful thing Krishna has created as this body. Everything is perfect in its place. In this body, everything is perfect in its place. The amount of blood you have, if you have less, or if you have more, then you are not normal, right? The amount of blood that you have, the way the heart functions, the way the brain functions, the way the lungs function, these are all the different parts of one body, right? And yet they work so perfectly in unison, like this chocolate factory. They work in complete unison. So this all what I've described to you is on the material aspect. So what is really driving this whole fear? What is this energy? We keep talking about the soul, we talk about the living entity. How does it come into play? How is this living entity in this body causing all this to happen? Because as soon as the living entity leaves the body is dead, right? What we do is we dump it, we either burn it or we bury it or whatever we do. Body is just useless, right? The living entity is there. So it's the living entity that is the living force within this body. But then, how is all this actually happening? Are any of you curious to know that? Raise your hand if you're curious to know, right? Because Krishna explains it in different places in the Bhagavatam, in the Bhagavad Gita, in other places. He explains it in bits and pieces. So if you bring it all together, then you get a clear picture of your inner engineering. That's the subject of this inner engineering. how Krishna has engineered everything within you. How does it work? How material works? How spiritual works? Now, let's say, for example, let's say that you had a diagram of what's exactly happening in your existence, in this life, in this body, right? They say in English language that pictures carry more weight than words do because pictures register, right? Words tend to be forgotten. You agree with that? So, in my preaching, I was very focused on trying to put all these pieces together so as to be able to present a picture where one who sees that picture will know immediately, clearly what's going on. Will leave no constraint for any kind of duality, doubt. And everything that you see in the picture that I'll show you in a minute is fortified by references from Krishna's sayings. Everything. Everything is based on Krishna's sayings, either in the Bhagavad Gita or in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Nothing is speculation, nothing is made up. So you are ready for that? Yeah. The picture is a little complex, because we are complex. But then I'll try to break it down and explain. Okay? Ready? Now, I want to first of all, what do they say at the bottom? We put in small letters. Huh? Huh? A disclaimer. I want to put a disclaimer. This is purely my understanding, and I don't want you to uh, take it as some acharya or some sannyasi once said it. I put this together to help you. Okay? There could be some faults in it, there could be some errors in it. I have tried to make sure there are none. Okay? But please take it as you wish. Alright? And it requires a lot of faith based on what you receive. Right? If you don't have faith in Krishna's words, then this will seem a little far-fetched. Is it okay? Alright. Let me try. This is a summary going on with it. There are two parts to this. On the left-hand side is what is considered as the driver within this body. The driver being your mind, intelligence, and posture, and the soul. Everything is in the region of the heart. This is everything is in the region of the subtle body as we know it. Now, scientists and all say that the intelligence comes from here. The Shastras said different. Here is the brain, that's the material part. But Krishna clearly said, we read that purport that we just read, intelligence, forgetfulness, and memory comes from Krishna. You all agree with that? Right? And where is the super soul situated? Region of the heart. If the super soul is situated in the region of the heart, right, then the concentration of the soul and the super soul is in the heart. The soul is also in the region of, and the soul is covered by the subtle body. Correct? Everyone knows that? Yeah. The subtle body is composed of mind, intelligence, and false view. Everyone knows that? Right? The subtle body, we have two bodies. One is the body that we see. And within us, there is a second body, which is called the subtle body, subtle because we don't see it. And that subtle body is composed of mind, intelligence, and force. This is a very important subject matter, so please focus. What you will get out of this will help you throughout your life. Because always go back to this. Okay? And I will give you references where Krishna describes what. Okay? So, that's the reason why in the region of the heart is the concentration of the subtle body. The super soul and the soul are both there, right? Everything material, the brain may be here, right? The heart is here, and the parts of the body, the senses are spread all over your eyes, the nose, the ears, the hands, the legs. All of those are spread over the rest of the body. But the concentration is in the heart. If the heart stops, what happens? You're dead, right? If the brain stops, are you dead? No, no. You're in a coma, you can't function. But you still are alive. People are in coma for so long. I know people who have been 10 years or 12 years in coma. But they're not functional. But they're still there. So the heart is the focus. Everything depends on the heart. Heart stops, that's it. There's no further life in that body. The soul leaves. Right? So the heart is the concentration. And the super soul and the soul are both in the region. Clear so far? Please stop me if you are having any questions. I have no problem if you are stop me and ask questions. Alright? So here it just is. No, I'm just kidding. So here you see the super soul is on one side, the soul is on the other side. So when you question why can I not see the Paramatma? It's because of what's sitting between you and the super soul. That is the force. Krishna over and over says that the reason you cannot see the Paramatma within your heart is because of false ego. As soon as the false ego is destroyed, it melts away as now described. The soul and the super soul are free space. That's when you can see our material attachments, our sense gratification, our tendency to be under the influence of the three modes. That's what is stopping us from being able to see the Karma. That is what nourishes the false ego. Right? As soon as we are attached to Krishna and we attach to our material world, that's when we can see the Paramatma face to face. Okay? So it's up to us, it's not up to Krishna to show it. It's to you to see Krishna. And so you have to qualify yourself. Right? Clear so far? Now you see the mind and the intelligence are on the two sides of the force. These two play the most important part in our decision making, our decisions. When we take birth in this lifetime, this subtle body actually comes with us from the previous life. That's the only thing that comes with us, the subtle body. The subtle body is not destroyed with the body. That's why it's different from the body. The subtle body is destroyed only one time. When is it destroyed? When we actually return back to the spiritual world. Then there's no need for the spiritual world. But as long as we are in this material world, the subtle body goes with us from birth to birth to birth. Every birth. And so what goes with the mind is our experiences from the previous lives. Not memory. Experiences. So some people are very afraid of water. Some people are very afraid of fire. They see that there's a fire and run away. They go anywhere near. That's because of experiences from their previous life. Those experiences carry over birth. Okay? And the other thing that carries over is your karmas, your desires for the previous life. Okay? Two things. Please keep in mind. Karmas and desires. That will be a very important part of our discussion. Is it clear so far? Everything? Is any questions or any comments? Because it's very important for you to understand why things happen to you and why you have certain desires and why you don't have other desires. Okay? You will be able to understand everything once you understand the mechanism within yourself. Is that clear so far? So it's the false ego that takes you away from the super ego. The intelligence and the mind decide on either Because it was people. Now we will come to the rights. Before I explain it, we will come to the rights. On the right side, you see there are the sense objects and the senses. Okay, the sense objects are our five sense objects. Eyes, ears, nose, heart, touch. And is the working sense. You can touch, taste, five. So the five senses, all of which two belong to the tongue, touch and taste. Right? So we have these five senses that are incoming senses. That means they are feeding the mind. They are feeding us. What we see, what we hear, what we taste, what we touch, and what we smell. Right? These are all incoming senses. They provide input into our mind. After I finish my perspective, it's not a kidding. It's activity written. So these are the senses are the ones that are created. Mind is the sense which sits on top of the five senses. Okay? And how do they feel it? Because keep in mind that the soul is spiritual in nature, is material in nature. The soul cannot interact with material. Spirit and material cannot interact. Not possible. So Krishna put together this wonderful engineering wherein his material energy is the one that lies the body, and that material energy is controlled by Krishna himself. So Krishna is talking to these senses through the material energy. You are not talking to the senses. Whatever is coming in is coming to the super soul, and the super soul is saying, that is why he says, Bhakta Smriti Jnanam Aporam. I am the one who gives you memory, intelligence, and awareness. Okay? So whatever is coming in through the senses is filtered, is coming through the super soul to the mind. Clear so far? Is it getting too complex? If you have any questions, let me know. So what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you taste, what you touch, all those are fed into the mind. And the mind, based on its previous experiences, is deciding whether it wants it or not. So, what is your most disgusting vegetable? Anyone? Is there a vegetable that I hate very much? Bitter gourd, which is what? Karela. Karela. You see it last week there, Karela. Yeah. And now we can completely recommend it. Like that. And sick or something and so I guess thought I know how complex it is. So what happens is why you don't like Kerala is because you have a past experience with it. It's not just your say, you tried it. Everyone tries it once. If you tell a child not to put people in the fire, he will still try it once. Then he gets bored and he will stop. But as long as you tell him don't, he will not miss. Stop. Right? Same way you have tried it, and that experience is registered in the mind. So as soon as it sees Karela, it's just interested. Thank you. Right? And same way with anything else that has got a bad experience for you, you keep away from it. Like as water. If you're drowned in the previous time in water, we got burned badly, or we got some other experience in some situation, those experiences remain with you. They are indelible in your mind. They are very, so the mind itself does not like it, it rejects it. But let's say it's Rasagulla. Is there anyone who does not like Rasagulla? You don't like Rasagulla? I have it not for you. If you eat Rasgulla, what happens? If you see Rasgulla, what happens? The mind, wait, I want this, right? But the mind alone cannot make that decision. That goes to the soul. It's the soul's desire. The mind passes the experience to the soul. And then the soul either accepts or rejects, right? How does the soul accept or reject? Based on the intelligence the soul accepts or rejects. It's the intelligence. So the point that I'm trying to make is that intelligence can overrule the mind. Okay? Because the intelligence says, yeah, the rasgullas are very nice, very sweet, but we have to pay a price later on. So no rasgullas. Right? Some who have diabetes, they see rasgulla and, oh my God, if I could only have one. Right? But the intelligence is stopping it. The mind is saying, nothing is going to happen, just do it. Intelligence, no, you can't have it. It's going to be disastrous for us. Right? So the intelligence can overrule the mind. Okay? But the intelligence has to be stronger than the mind. If the intelligence is weak, then the mind totally destroys the intelligence. You know, you go, some young boys, some children, they, high school students, college students, they go to college, right? They come under tremendous peer pressure. Smoking, drinking is very normal there, right? Smoking, drinking, maybe even other things, right? You come under tremendous peer pressure, and your intelligence is telling you, no, this is not good for you. Okay? But the mind is so strong, says, no, we're going to try this. Right? That's when the intelligence is weak and the mind takes over. If the intelligence is strong, it will not allow the mind to have its way. It will not allow the mind. I often talk about my daughter. She went to Georgia Tech. Um, she did business. She's actually married and she's settled in Washington, D.C. now, in Maryland, Georgia. Um, and in Georgia Tech, she had a lot of peer pressure. But when she was young, when she was small, both my wife and me, we gave her a very strong foundation in the sense that she was very much involved in bhakti. She used to go to the temple with me. She would actually study the Bhagavad Gita. When she was in high school, she was taking Bhagavad Gita classes and all, right? So when she came into that situation in Georgia Tech, her intelligence was much stronger than her mind, and she would not be favored. She would not, no matter who said what, she could not be uh, influenced. She would influence others, right? So a strong intelligence comes from a strong foundation, and a strong foundation comes from seeking help of the Lord. Without the help of the Lord, you cannot have a strong intelligence, right? So when your intelligence is strong, it can overrule the mind. But when the mind intelligence is weaker than the mind, then you get swayed. You just follow the crowd. You just follow the crowd. You do not carve a path for yourself, which is the most difficult thing to do because nobody wants to go against the wave. The wave is going one way, even if it is taking you to hell, you still go the way. If the agreement is going, then it must be right. Right? That is a weak intelligence. A strong intelligence is when you question it. You do not accept what the majority do until and unless you are convinced that what they're doing is right. Okay? That's a strong intelligence. When the intelligence is weak, it sways, it just goes with the wave. Right? Then ultimately, disaster. So intelligence has to be strong. So here you see the super soul is doing two things. One, whatever comes to the sensor, he's feeding it to the mind. Okay? He serves two roles here. One is as a witness, and the second is as a sanctioner. He sanctions or declines, and the second thing is he's a witness. So whatever comes in, he's passing it to the mind. He's not filtering. Let the soul decide what he wants to do, because Krishna never interferes with your free will. The choices are made by you alone. You are responsible for the choices you make. Krishna does not interfere with your choices, right? And these choices, these desires that you have, the choices that you make, are then either sanctioned by Krishna or rejected. Okay? The only time Krishna rejects a choice that you make, a desire, make a note of this. When it interferes with the free will, the free choice of another. Keep this in mind. Like in the Constitution also, there's a Bill of Rights. What is the Bill of Rights? It means that you have rights as long as your rights does not interfere with the rights of another. Okay? You cannot say, I have a right to kill him. Okay? No, you don't have a right. Okay? Because he has right to live. Right? So, in the same way, this thinking, this intelligence, when the constitution was built, came from the Shastra world. Krishna says that as long as your choices do not interfere with the rights of another, then that wish should be granted. Okay? Otherwise, it will be rejected. So he's the sanctioner as long as he does not interfere with your free will, as long as your desire does not interfere with another's rights. Is it clear so far? There's still more to go. We're just getting started. Okay? So, having said that, the soul, the living entity, you are responsible for your actions. You're responsible for your desire. You cannot blame anyone else for the choices that you make. Okay? You cannot blame anyone else for choices you make. You are responsible for your choices. Now, once you make a choice, how does that come into play in this whole structure? Right? The super soul, when it grants it, who is the doer? Who does the action? Does the soul does the action? Do you do the action? No. Krishna clearly says this material modes, three material modes are actually the doers. They are performing the action. So the super soul will pass on that desire to the senses and tell them to execute it. That's why Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, Maya Dakshina Prakriti Suyate Characharam. Nothing happens without my permission, nothing happens without my supervision. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that. So he's supervising. When he has sanctioned a action, then that action is performed by the three modes of material nature. They're sitting inside you. They're controlling you. And there are three modes of action, three modes. Mode of passion, ignorance, mode of passion, and mode of goodness. Three. So if the action is a pious action, is an action of goodness, then it will be handed over to the mode of goodness. If it's a mode of passion, it will be handed over to the mode of passion. Otherwise, it will go to mode of goodness. Okay? Not so simple. Doesn't work that way, it's not that simple. Because these modes are all intertwined, like a rope. You see, a rope has three strands, right? The rope always has three strands. They're all intertwined. Right? Same way, these three modes are also intertwined. So on some days, mode of goodness is very strong. On other days, mode of passion is very strong. And on Sundays, mode of ignorance is very strong. I don't want to get up, get up after 12 o'clock. Do you feel that way? Not you, because we have come here at 11:45. But on Sundays, more of ignorance is raised from on holidays. You don't want to get up, you sleep late. The Shastras say the ideal hours for anyone is divided into three, 8, 8, 8. Mode of goodness is from midnight to 8 a.m. Mode of passion is from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And mode of ignorance is from 6, I'm sorry, till 4 p.m. And then 4 p.m. to midnight is mode of ignorance. If you want proof of that, I can give you proof. Those of us who have businesses and work, we go to work by 8 o'clock, right? Until late evening, we are working very hard, every one of us, right? And you need patience for that, right? After you're done working, you want to enjoy. Evening time is for enjoying, correct? Most of us are enjoying. Krishna calls that a mode of ignorance. Because really that enjoyment is not getting you anywhere. It is just temporary enjoyment, right? It's more of ignorance because there's no tangible result from it, right? Whether you go to a bar, whether you go to a party, whether you go anywhere and enjoy, it's over as soon as that event is over. After that, you have nothing to show for it. In the mode of passion, you have something to show for it. In the mode of goodness, you have something even more to show for it. What is more? You're building credits which can be carried over to your next life. What you build in passion, you cannot take with you. What you build in goodness can go with you to the next life also. It's never lost. So that's why you have goodness, passion, and ignorance. Ignorance means useless activity which has no results. It becomes temporary. Right? So these hours are also driven by these modes of material nature. You can see how much we are controlled by these three modes of material nature. Chapter 13 of Bhagavad Gita is fully focused on material nature. Then chapter 16 has more of material nature. Sorry, 17. And then chapter 18 also half of it is three modes of material nature. Whole jnana part of it is material nature. Because you have to understand how you are so much controlled by these three modes. And as a human being, that's the only time when you have an opportunity to drive these three modes away and be free from them. There's no other life form that can do that. Only as in the form of a human being, you have that ability to transcend these three modes, get them out of the way. Okay? And when you get these three modes out of the way, what happens? That false ego that we talk about, that melts away. Srimad Bhagavatam says it melts away. The word that is used in the Prabhupada melts away. And then you can see Krishna crucifix. He's there, but we are not ready to see him. It's not that he's not there. He's ready to see you. You have to be ready to see him. And it's this false ego that's keeping us, our attachments are keeping us away from it. Right? So when Krishna tells goodness, passion, and ignorance what to do, right? Then they are the ones who are tapping your senses. When I'm raising my hand like this, believe me, I'm not doing it. It's the material modes that are doing it. I desire to raise my hand. The soul desires to raise his hand. And the three modes of material nature actually raise my hand. Because I'm spiritual in nature, I cannot do it for myself. It's the modes that do it for me. Okay? Even when I'm talking, when I'm eating, when I'm doing any action, it's through these three modes. Everything is happening. So the real doers are the three modes of material nature. We are the desirers. Only thing we can do is desire. And that's the reason why we came to this material world is to fulfill our desires. And so Krishna cannot take us back to the spiritual world until we have exhausted all our desires. As long as we have desires, we have to stay here. And Krishna will keep giving us the appropriate body to fulfill that desire. Okay, based on our desire, we get the next body in our next life. And based on our karma, we get the situation in which we are born. If you're born as a tiger or a elephant or an athletic or a bird, right? Then that's based on our desires. And where we are born, that is based on our previous karmas. So if you take a human life, sometimes we are born in a very rich family, sometimes we are born in a very poor family, or we are born in a country where there's not enough food also. If you go to Ecuador, where children there only get 2 meals a week. They learn to survive, but that's how it is, right? That is because of previous karmas, right? So two things determine where you will be born in the next life, desires and karma. So make sure that you control both of these. And then you can have a much better life going forward. Right? Any questions or any comments? What should you desire? Only Krishna. Anya Abhilashita Shunyam. Jnana Karmadi Nirvapana. Nothing else but Krishna. All your actions should be only for the pleasure of Krishna. You are guaranteed to go back to the spiritual world. Bhagavad Gita gives you a guarantee. Good question.
Thank you very much.
Anything else?
Yeah. Just wanted to add in what Prabhu said that we are working, we are here, we are fortunate that we associate to the Krishna conscious, what we will go, it is clearly know that we get birth, we get grown up, we will get disease, and at the time it's reality that we will get death also, right? So at the time of death, what we will get? Everything will be left as it is. We will, the soul will go on, right? What we, Prabhu said, we will get our karma back. What we did, how we associated. Let's open a bhakti account for Krishna and then we go to God. What will go? Bhakti account, which we have.
That's the credit which is always going to be there. Neha also Asipat, Pratyavan Vidyate, Swantam Abhyasagams. Even if you do a little devotional service, that is never lost. Never lost. That is what will go with you. That's the only thing that will go with you. So this is the way things are functioning, and I'm only half done. Our time is up. So maybe next week or some other time we will cover the other half. But now you know how the senses are interacting. You know how you make desires and how you have desires and decisions. What I didn't talk about is how you control the mind through the intelligence, how you take shelter of Krishna. That will come in a future
Yes.
session. For now, I try to give you the basic and try to put together a picture of how things are working so that you will be able to, because pictures speak 1,000 words. So it's something that you can remember and it can help you whenever you have any kind of questions, why this is happening to me, why this situation, why that situation, this can help you. All right? Yes.
Intelligence out of mind and then also wants. Yes, we have to take
That's
action.
a second one. That's a second one.
What is significance of actions outside? What is significance you get outside?
On business.
We have outside, outside of what?
Okay.
Mind is
False ego and mind are best friends. Intelligence is their enemy. It stops the mind from enjoying itself.
So what do you call that in Sanskrit words like ankara?
False ego is ankara.
What is subtle is buddhi?
Intelligence is buddhi. Krishna says buddhi. And mind is
Manas.
mana. Right.
What is consciousness?
The soul is Jivatma.
Pure.
Yeah. And the super soul is Paramatma.
Raghu, I have one.
Yeah, please.
So, when you started off talking, somewhere in between, you said that Krishna would never interfere with our free will,
Yes.
but only under one circumstance, especially when this jiva's free will is actually being like hurted to some other jiva's free will.
Yes.
That is where he interferes and he will not sanction it. Can you just give an example?
For example, okay, say there is one boy, he falls in love with another girl, right? The girl does not love him, okay, but the boy truly wants the girl, okay. I'll give a an example. There's a very good devotee of ISKCON, right? There were two boys who loved the same girl. It's a very perfect example. They both loved the same girl. But the girl loved one and did not want that have much to do with the other one. They were friends. Okay? And this boy was very envious of the other guy. Okay, he was very envious of the other guy. Okay? So what happened? Since he was not getting who the girl he loved, his attitude was that if I cannot have her, then he also cannot have her. Okay? So on one day, this boy and the girl were going on a bike, okay, and this other boy, uh, he also came in the bike and he had a flask of very strong sulfuric acid and he threw it on the face of that boy, okay, and that boy, his left side was totally burnt, and fortunately the girl just got minor injury, nothing much. Okay? And fortunately, that boy was able to control the bike and they were hospitalized for some time. He recovered. His face is still burnt. He recovered. But the other boy, the other guy, like he's serving a life sentence because of attempted murder. Okay? So the girl still, in spite of the boy going through this injury, she still truly loved him. They got married. They're still married, happily married. And they're living a very nice Krishna conscious life. Okay? So why I'm giving this example is because the boy who loved her, he could not have the girl because of his karmas or whatever it is, he was not entitled to the girl. Krishna was not allowing that to happen. And the other boy, he was because he was entitled. He had enough karma credits to get that kind of love. So one is deprived of that love, the other gets the love. Okay? So here Krishna rejected this personal desires because it was not in tune with the other girl's karmas or rights. Okay? And he granted this person's love because it was in tune with. So that's how Krishna is a selectioner and rejecter. He determines, right? So I'll give you a very simple example, real-time example, which I have personally seen with my own eyes. So it's not a made-up example. I can understand what was going on. So you can see in one situation Krishna works one way, and in the situation Krishna works another way. That person had to go through this punishment because of his past karmas. And so he got that kind of intelligence. Right? And so now he's serving a lifetime sentence because what's going to happen next. Right? Does that explain it? So Krishna is the sanctioner and he's the denier also. He decides. Right? Yes, Prabhuji.
I guess personal question here. I I stepped out, so I find it correctly, but I heard you talking about like desires, for one lifetime we got having desire, and that's a huge. But what's the secret? Like I know most of my misery comes from my desires, right?
Yes. Yes.
How do you let go of that?
How do you?
Or what's the actual like?
That was going to be covered in the second session. But just to give you an idea, the intelligence has to be stronger than the mind. Then and only then your desires will be channeled in the right direction.
I know it's not cool.
Huh?
I know the solution is cool.
Willpower.
Not willpower, intelligence. Your intelligence has to be very strong. That intelligence comes from Krishna. When you take shelter of Krishna, Krishna will never allow you to deviate from that path of taking shelter of Krishna. So he will give you the intelligence with which you will never go for those kind of desires. You will reject them instead of acting upon them. And secondly, Krishna will also make sure that you get the proper association. Desires is always based on association, mind you. So he will also make sure you get the right association so that your desires are on the path of Krishna consciousness since you are taken shelter of Krishna. Does that make sense? Because it is said that you become who you associate with. In the English language it is said, become who you associate with. If you associate with alcoholics, you're bound to take alcohol sometime or the other. If you associate with smokers, if you associate with sex addicts, if you associate with gamblers, right? It's just a question of time when you will also be doing that. You will be able to justify it, your mind will be able to justify. Okay, these all are doing it. I don't see anything wrong with that. So let's do it. Right? Association is the root on which all your desires grow. So who you associate with is what you become. Please keep that in mind. It's very, very important. And so if you associate with the right people, you always have desire that are proper for your growth. You know? It's the root for everything. Yes, no.
Say verse in Bhagavad Gita where Krishna refers to the word buddhi yoga,
Yes.
that there is a different kind of buddhi. With buddhi, intelligence, which will go out and fulfill your desires.
You are jumping ahead. That's not sufficient.
That's what Prabhuji explained it.
Yoga is because that yoga that we practice will not give you the right buddhi or which you can come to. That's the second section.
Yeah. Prabhuji.
Any other questions? Otherwise, we're done for today. Yes. Absolutely, it changes. Intelligence changes. Sometimes it's very weak, but then when you do the right things, it's very strong. The mind and false ego are always targeting your intelligence. When the intelligence is weak, it is hiding in the and the mind and the false ego are having a party. When the intelligence is strong, the mind and the false ego are serving the intelligence. Wow.
Like in certain situations, you can have a weakness for putting that have a weakness for sweet stuff, but you will still have this put on and wake up early, right? So it can be deep for some things, strong for some things.
Yes, it can. As I said, every single day, these three modes are driving you. Someday you get up in the mode of ignorance. At that time, your intelligence is very weak. Sometimes you get up in the mode of goodness. We want to consistently get up in the mode of goodness. That's why Prabhupada include the morning sadhana, like Mangalati, chanting, the Tulsi Aarti, all that is why, because they put us in the mode of goodness throughout the day. Right? So every day is a different story. Every day is a different story. Which mode is an ascendancy of you will drive your actions. So devotees, they come for Mangalarti because they want to give more goodness every single day. They want to give material nature a chance to kill our intelligence, kill our bhakti.
Even waking up early, coming to Aarti in the morning, that's level of discipline which can help with your material life. But think back.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because you've already put yourself in the mode of goodness. The rest of the day becomes very easy. Right? It's passion and ignorance that creates stress and distress. Not all of it is peaceful. So your rest of the day will always be very peaceful, no matter what challenges come. You'll be able to handle it. Right? Some students they get up early in the morning to study, very early. Why? Because that's the time before 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. That's the time when your intelligence is the strongest. Right? You can grasp things fast, grasp things fast. That's a very good time to study. Not late in the night. The late in the night you're in the mode of ignorance, so nothing sticks. Right? You know, answer your question?
That ignorance time, if you read Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam or maybe some subject what's the mode of what's the role
First I got ignorant the mode of ignorance that is not to read Bhagavad Gita. If you are having the desire to read Bhagavatam, it means you are in the mode of ignorance. That's not the reason for reading.
our nature was prominent?
Not so easily. Every day can be different. If in the very beginning of the day you are in the mode of goodness, then it carries through throughout the day. That's the reason why morning sadhana is so important. It puts you in the mode of goodness throughout the day. But if you're in the mode of ignorance, you will have no desire to Shananda to be. It can't happen. So if you have that desire, means you're not in the mode of ignorance. The mode of ignorance can't happen.
Rosie, you told us that intelligence has to be upper than the
Always.
no always, so that we can be on the upper side, right? So, how to get our intelligence?
Sure. Many questions out of time right now. I know this is a very interesting subject. Everyone wants to know what is the reason why I brought this up because it's a very important statement. We need to understand. We will continue this, okay? So keep your questions. If you have questions, I'm on the chat group also. You can look up my number and send me private chats. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Alright? Thank you. And I'm asking for one student is here. Yes.
Yeah, I believe. Yes, we're filming.
Yeah, he's here to read.
Yeah, yeah,
Who?
Mom's from.
Mom's program. So, someone has sponsored the Sunday feast today, Yashwant. They here? Yeah, please come to the family. So Yashwant here has sponsored the Sunday feast. They would like to get the blessings of all the Vaishnavas. He's celebrating his birthday in the 20s. It's like 3 days.
Haribos.
We have a cake and
I get it.
yeah. Thank you. So Yashwant, was this your first time in this next? Okay. Oh, this is very useful. No, don't be shy. Don't be shy.
So, this was new to the US and it's been 3 years over here. So on Jan 18th, I visited this temple. So on that activity gave me a Bhagavad Gita. So I started learning how to. So I started learning Bhagavad Gita and I have learned many things and I have faced many challenges. So,
So Prabhuji came on 19th January, as you said, and I was here at that time when we got a Bhagavad Gita and he took it seriously and he started reading it. And he's here today to celebrate his birthday with all of you. So that's the power of Bhagavad Gita. So let us all welcome Prabhuji, Yashwant Prabhuji, for Bhagavad chanting in the 3 minutes. So Prabhupada said, our Islam temples to universities, right? More than worship, we actually provide valuable education, right? Through this valuable education, we help people to have a peaceful and happy life, as well as to build for the future also in the next lives also, and get shelter of Krishna. So those who are here, is there anyone here for the first time? Raise your hand. We're here for the first time. Okay. Anyone else? All right. Anyone else? So those who are here for the first time, huh? Are you here for the first time?
Yeah.
Okay. So make sure you get a Bhagavad Gita. It's complimentary for anyone who comes in for the first time. Don't leave the Bhagavad Gita. Because it will help you. Be sure. So we still waiting for the cake? It's being cooked still? It's being offered? Okay. Yeah, we don't want the cake to not offered. So this is a mala which was offered to Sri Krishna Swami. So we're going to present this to Priti. We get the blessings of Sri Krishna Swami. We can move on challenges in his life and help them in both the spiritual and spiritual life. So we're the faith. So I'll take that time to make a few announcements that we have. So here, notice. We have two big festivals coming up. One of them is Ram Navami, right? How many of you celebrate Ram Navami? Everyone should, right? But Ram is stunning stuff. So on Ram Navami day, we have 2 days of festivities. On Saturday, the 5th, some say Ram Navami is on the 5th, some say it's on the 6th. I'm not sure which one is it. Our Vaishnava calendar says it's on the 6th, right? But we're going to celebrate on both days. We're not taking any chances. We are going to have a very beautiful Sitaram Kalyana over here. Starting at 12 noon till 4 till 5:30, right? Last year also we did it because of huge test people enjoyed us so much. They are having requesting us to be very. So we will have Sitaram Kalyana over here on 5th starting at noon. Okay, actually it starts at 11:30 with the Haldi ceremony, right? And then 12 o'clock the Kalyanam will start. Those of you who want to be sponsors, want to be on the Sita's side, or want to be on the Ram's side, you can come and approach us. You can literally participate in it. But it is a very nice festival on the 5th. And on the 6th, we will have the ISKCON celebration at Ramnagar. What does that mean? We will have Abhishek of Lord Sitaram, this is Sitaram over there. We will have Abhishekam, we will have a small 15-20 minute lecture, we will have Maharati, we will have Pujanjali, we will have a very nice feast because Lord Ram's appearance is something that needs to be celebrated by everyone. So on 6th we have a very big festival also, and on 5th we have the Sitaram Kalyanam. Any questions from anyone? So if there are no questions, that means all of you are going to come on both days, right? Thank you. Then on May 11th is the second anniversary of this temple. It's going to be 2 years since this temple. It's the second anniversary. Then we have a 3-day festival.
Very good.
On the Friday before the 11th, we will have the Adivas ceremony in the evening to create auspiciousness so that celebrations to follow are accepted by the Lord as our humble offering. Right? So we have Adivas ceremony and Prasadam on Friday night. Kirtan and all will be there. On Saturday morning, we will have a Jagannath Rath Yatra here in Swami. Okay, there will be a Jagannath Rath Yatra over here. Timings will be provided. Yes, we will be getting commissions, but we are almost there, so don't worry, it will happen. But if you are on chat group, you will get all the information. It will happen. It will probably be sometime around 11:30 in the morning, or it will be at 4 in the afternoon. Not sure yet, but we will give you all the details as we get closer to it. All right. So that's on Saturday. There will be a Jagannath Yatratra. There will be a Chapan Bhog for Jagannath over here. And there will be a grand feast. Maharati, very good big feast. And then the Sunday, which is our second anniversary, actual day for second anniversary is that Sunday. We will have Abhishek of the Lordships, both the Lakshmi Narasimha and Bharanetai at the same time. We will have full Abhishek from over here. There will be a ceremony performed by a priest, so that the deities, both Gornikai and Narasimha Dev are come, and then we have installed actually, and then there will be full Abhishekam, and everyone will get to participate in the Abhishek. It's free. You don't have to pay for the Abhishek. Everything is free over here. We depend on our devotees to sponsor the events. But for everyone over here, whoever comes, they will be participating in this major Abhishek. Then after the Abhishek, we will have a Maharati and Mahaprasadam. Pushpanjali, Maharati, everything will happen. We'll have a Mahaprasadam with big party, a feast. That's on this anniversary. Those are the 3 days we will celebrate. Mark your calendar, May 9, 10, and 11. Alright? Any questions or any comments on this? Okay, so as we get closer, there will be much more details that we will share with you. So Prabhuji will explain a program that we have started, which is very helpful to all of you, and it will give you the.
So, would any of you like help in your own the path of bhakti? Simply doing your chanting, you become more regular. Would anyone like any help more? Is everybody already well situated? Anyone? Excuse me. Okay. I know I need help. I need your association. Prabhuji was talking about association, and we need each other's association, each other's help. So I started a group called devoteesangha.com. Okay, you just go there. It will take you to a site, join it, it's free. Okay? Now, we've begun the first of our program. We plan to have a lot of programs there, ranging basically about Grihastha life as devotees, raising our family, programs for children, all kinds of things. There's some, so the first thing we started is a japa group, where you can, we'll get up early in the morning and chant japa. Now, we're going to start at 5:30 a.m. every morning. I would have thought it unthinkable. I would not never have been able to do it. Prabhuji has been a great inspiration to me. And those of you that can make it to the temple, by all means, this is your best place to come. But if you cannot make it, then join us there. Because others are also there, you will get inspiration. So 5:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. we are chanting japa. Nobody's video is on. You will just see picture of Prabhupada or of Krishna. And it will just say that morning sadhana, japa plus reading. So 5:30 to 7:30 we're doing japa. And when you come in, just have to say any goal or something so you know you're there. Video is off, audio is off. Just you can listen to Prabhupada chanting japa. At 7:30 to 8 we'll do some reading, either about japa or something else, something inspiring, so that then from 8 o'clock onwards you can begin your day in a wonderful way as to listen. Then from there on, then you can go into your work and your household activities and everything else. So that's the first activity. Later on, we're going to start other things within that same group as well to support you in your life in every aspect, including your bhakti as well as your family affairs. Okay, so please join devoteesangha.com, and if you're joining me, just RSVP, let us know that you will be attending. It will be inspiring because it's hard to do it alone.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for starting such a wonderful program. So now we have cake here. So we're going to ask Yashwant Prabhu to please cut the cake while we sing happy birthday to him. Can you give the mic, please? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Which wish you I'll give everyone hands to him and Hare Krishna for Yashwant. Okay, so that he gets the blessings of Shishi Bharani and Shishi Swami. Okay? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. So Yashwant, are you battling? Yes, sir. Since you're really happy to be part of this cake. Take from the table. We are always working in any way we can from guidance and yours. We all have different challenges. That's why that was for somebody. We will take care of it. So please keep going. Thank you so much. Oh, yes.